What's up, big bro? Good to see you now.
Man, look here, brother. I mean, we doing this thing, what we call coast to coast today, brother. You on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast. I mean, yes, sir. Yeah, a little West Coast, East Coast feel today. I like that. I
That's
like
right.
that, man. Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
early for you this morning. It's early for you. Man, you're out there in San Francisco, right? San Fran doing some big things.
San
You know,
Francisco. Yep. I'm at the Dreamforce conference with Salesforce. About 40,000 people out here. Pretty much shaping the future of how business is done. It's incredible. Using autonomous AI to program. How things get done from a marketing standpoint and sales,
right.
and it's been eye opening for me. I thought I knew where things were heading, but the world's
Yeah,
changing
yeah.
faster than I could have ever imagined.
Well, Well, it's one of those things we talk about, right? You got to be a lifelong learner. I mean, if you're not going to do that, man, you're going to get left behind. And I tell you, AI has definitely it's up the game of how people need to think and act, and you're either going to act or react. So you got to stay out front, brother. Stay out front. I love it.
Well, as you look over your shoulder, you got that USA jersey, and we talk a
Hmm.
lot about where we come from. Understanding your heritage. You keep those reminders in front of you. You know who you are. And like I said, I'm out here in San Francisco. I'm reminded, the biggest tech companies in the world are out here, all coming together to figure some stuff out. But you, we are as citizens, we're putting a lot of trust in them to actually do the right thing.
Right,
And
right.
so when you think about where we are today, where we've come from, I know we talked about this briefly before we came on the air here, but building our own future, building the future we want, I think is where we got to go with the conversation today, and shaping the direction of the future without being dependent upon what else anybody else is doing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's always been kind of a driving force for me was, look, I needed to figure out a way to create the life that I wanted, right? Because, expecting the wrong people to do the right thing, I mean, at some point, that's maddening. And if you start to, if that's where you're going to put your trust and you're going to rely on that, I don't know, I think you're in for a long ride. So, with me, it's always been making sure that my foundation was solid and really creating the life that I want, regardless of whether people agreed or didn't agree. I mean, I'm the one that's ultimately going to have to do the work. So when it comes to looking at the direction that I would like to see things go, I mean that's why we have the Lead with Your Life book on leadership and Lead with Your Life shirt. It's like to make the changes that you truly want. I think it starts with you, and so you got to do it one person at a time. We can hope that those people, do the right thing, and with the technology. But I can say, but I can do the right thing. Doesn't really matter, if they do or not, because again, it's the person in the mirror, right? I've got to have that conversation with that person, and I've always believed it just takes one person, just takes one. So if I can be that one that's consistent, that one that stays disciplined, that one that does the right thing. So at least when you look at me, you go, okay, that guy leads with his life, and I told you that's, you know, having kids is one thing, but when you have grandkids, it's a whole different deal. And I just want them to be able to say, hey, look, okay, so I can look at what Papa, not only talked about, but what he did. I mean, ultimately, right? Isn't that what it's all about? I mean, we can say a lot of things,
Yeah.
but it comes down to what did you do? I mean, really, what did you do? What was your work? What was your, how did you pull people up? And you either did or you didn't, right? I mean, think about it. You either inspired people or you didn't. You either built bridges or you didn't. I mean, there's no in between of that stuff, and you either lead with your life or you didn't.
I think
And
of
and I,
I think of fishing. When you said pull people
yeah,
up, you could
yeah.
be cranking on that thing and you get that thing right up
It-
next to the boat.
oh, oh,
But if it
and
doesn't get in the
I'm
boat,
right.
I
And
know,
you
I
know what?
know,
And
I know,
I'm an avid fisherman, right?
I know
I
that,
love
I
to
know
fish.
that.
I mean, that's kind of my thing. And
Yeah.
and And you hook up to some stuff sometime, and you see it. I
Yeah.
mean, you can actually see it, but then you get right there to the boat, and
That's why they call
boom.
it fishing, not catching.
That's why. That's right. That's why they call it fishing and not catching. And until you can put your hand on it and pull the hook out, and then make a decision, right?
Yeah.
Whether I'm going to release it or whether I'm going to keep it. That's the name of the game.
Mm, mm.
So when you bring people into your space, I feel like you have an option. Are you going to keep them there by doing the right thing, showing them the right thing, or are you going to release them back into the world with misinformation, and not doing what you need to do? I mean, it's really that simple. Like every day we have that option. And I'm glad you brought up the whole fishing thing, because that's kind of one of my analogies that I use. You know, as my papa would say, when you catch a fish and release it, you caught him and he knows you caught him. That's all that really matters.
All that
So
matters.
the
Yeah.
same thing when you interact with people, hey, you know how that conversation went. You know how that interaction with,
Yeah.
and so it boils down to, are you trying to catch and release that thing, or are you trying to keep people into your circle, and keep building upon that? So.
It's amazing too, and being out here, meeting and I don't know, I probably met 50 people yesterday. So you're
Mhm.
crossing paths with so many people, and I know that's how you live your life. So intentional about every conversation, and so intentional about every engagement. Somebody crosses your path, like, how are you leave them? Are you leaving them in a better place than how they met you? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's important, right? I think, like you said earlier, you're in a place, the largest, tech gathering, information gathering of that kind in the world. You got 40,000 people in and out. But, with that being said, you also have the ability for everyone you do talk to, for them to walk away going, wow, that was a good comment. Like, I remember this guy, you know what I mean? And I think if we approach it that way, to where we try to leave an impression, you know, and leave the right impression, right? A good impression. And I think if you approach it that way, you're probably going to be more apt to listen well. You're probably going to be more intentional about eye contact, and all the things that I say, that hey, AI is good, but it can't love
Yeah.
you that way.
They can't love you.
And so
Yeah.
I think
Hmm.
if you are intentional about um, really loving people, like just watching people get better,
Yeah.
man, we all win. That
Yeah.
that that's what's so crazy about it. It's such a win-win. Like when you're intentional about, you know, interacting that way, and being present and listening well and being open and understanding, like we don't have to agree on everything, but we can have these hard conversations, which we both walk away knowing a little bit more, growing a little bit more. Dude, I mean, that's really what it's all about.
It's funny too, because when you're at these conferences, you know how it is. You have a badge, and on that badge is a QR code. So you
Yes.
can you can have a great conversation with somebody, and then you click their QR code, and you're connected on LinkedIn.
Which
But in life, we don't do that. We're like, we
no,
see somebody at the
no,
store, we might have a nice
no,
interaction, and then boom,
right.
you may never see him again.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's why I think it's so important to be intentional about those interactions, right? Because we are not a QR code, we're not. And so to be able to create those types of relationships, you have to be intentional and spot on from the moment you meet someone to the moment you step outside of their presence. And I've met. It's so funny. I have a friend named Bo Foster, and Bo and I met. I was flying to Hawaii, and he happened to be sitting next to me. We one leg of the flight was about 5 hours, and so we just held this conversation. And turns out his son goes to Emory Riddle University, and Bo lives over in Pensacola. And I'm like, hey, if you ever in Jax, call me up, whatever. And but it was such a great conversation and a great interaction. Well, Bo came through town. He called me. We broke bread, and now
Nice.
we have a friendship. We've developed this great friendship, and when he's in this area, we break bread. We talk about his son. We talk about my kids. and it's amazing. But from that, we didn't have a QR code, but what we did was we were intentional about holding conversation that we felt was valuable. We exchanged numbers, and here we are months later, just doing our thing. Matter of fact, he's going to be back in town November 7th, and we're going to connect and do our thing. And so I think if we're really being intentional about these interactions, this is how we change the world. I think that's how you really change it.
That's so good, man. We are not a QR code.
No, we're
That's
not
a
a
good
QR
one
code.
right there. That's a good one.
Well,
We gotta use that. We
yeah,
are not.
yeah.
You are not a
Well,
QR code.
no, you're not. It's interesting. I spoke for the University of South Florida last
Mm,
Thursday, and I always do this Q&A, and one of the students asked me what I thought was a really great question, because they phrased it as, hey, Mr. Gunner, if you could give us one piece of advice about, being successful and moving your life forward, what would it be? And you get that question a lot, but for me, it was so simple. I said, talk to strangers.
yeah.
If I had to give you some advice, I'd say talk to strangers. Because you think about it, man, we don't do that, bro. Everybody's down on their phones looking. Um, Even when they're talking to strangers, there's no eye contact, man. There's no intentionality,
Yeah.
and everyone in the room, all the students was like, wow, like they got it,
Yeah.
because again, it's an obvious thing
Yeah.
when you lay it out like that.
Yeah.
Because now they can think, yeah, I don't really talk to strangers. No, you don't. But you have to remember that when you work, for an organization or a company, your first day of work, you're walking into a bunch of strangers.
Mm, yeah.
So if you haven't worked on those communication skills and developed those people skills around that, it's not going to be a great experience for you. So I think every day we have that opportunity to be able to have those types of experiences when people come into your life.
I tell you, I've been shocked. I had two conversations with successful businessmen out here, and the word
Mhm.
that they use, it really shocked me. I mean, it's our foundation. It's literally what we talk
Right,
about every day.
right,
But
right.
they said, um, love. They talked about that's the difference. That's the difference in making these human connections. And when you bring AI into the picture and you bring in all these autonomous beings that are going to take over at the end of the day, my big bro,
Favorite
way
bro,
ahead, way ahead of
favorite
it.
bro. What I tell you, dude?
Love,
Right?
man.
It's one love, dude. It's one love. It's one love. Like in the end, I feel like getting to where you want to be and living the life that you want to be is going to boil down to love. Think about how we throw that word around. We talk about, the reason we do certain things is because of love of our family. Or love, like really, but are you loving everyone? Are you doing that? Because ultimately, that's the big test, right? The big test for me is, are you building bridges for other people to cross that you haven't met yet, that you don't know? Are you doing that? Do you love people enough to be able to hold hard conversations and be okay that their opinion is not the same as yours?
Yeah.
See, that's love. And I think until we do, I really look back at my the last 27 years of running my company. Man, it's been all out of love. You know what I mean? I get to truly do what I love, and I feel like it comes across for all of my clients.
Mm,
I really do. I feel like, a matter of fact, I know, because I get these phone calls about things that you would only call someone about if you felt that they really loved you and really cared about you and really wanted the best for you. So to me, when people ask what kind of coach or what kind of speaker or author or person that I want to be known for, here's what I say: you will not know um, any of those things about me until about 15 or 20 years later, because it'll come out in the people that I've came across and touched and been around, right? So now when you see my kids that are doctors and when they're and the ones that call back and the ones that, like, hey coach, I have a kid now. That right there is how you figure out how you lived your life. You're not going to really know till about 15, about 10 or 15 years later. And so if the people that you've came across and talked to and coached and tried to inspire, if they're doing great things, if they're building bridges, if they're living their lives full of love and hope, then I did well. Then I did well. I think that's how you measure it.
That's got to be liberating
Oh, it
for you.
is.
For you.
Oh, dude, think about it. We talk a lot about freedom, right? And you and I've had this conversation many a times. And I said, look, it's one thing to be free; it's another thing to be totally liberated. And it is a very liberating feeling because I know that these interactions that I'm having today, the benefits of them, and you've heard me say this before. I'm like, you'll get it when I'm gone. Like you'll
I
you'll
love that one.
remember.
I love that
And,
one.
and
Yeah.
so to me, when you can live your life that way, knowing that I am planting the seed today and I'm gonna nurture it and I'm gonna water it, and I'm not gonna get the oak till probably 15 or 20 down the road, but I'm gonna get the oak. The oak tree's gonna grow. And so that's the intentionality and the purpose that I try to bring with everything is just knowing that I'll do this hard work on the front end. And so when it's time to have a testament about my legacy and my life, yeah, 15 or 20 down the road, people will say what they say.
So let's go back for a minute where we started. What came to mind for me is last night I was having a conversation with this guy from Warner Brothers. Big,
Hmm.
he's in charge of the Center for Excellence
Okay.
for Warner Brothers. So
Hmm.
he's developing people and he's developing processes,
Yes. Yes.
and he started to describe the type of people that he hires.
Hmm.
And he said, they're people that really they value their work, and they don't make excuses, and you don't necessarily have to come after them to figure out if they did their work or not. And I said, and I looked at him, I
Hmm.
said, because with some we talk about all the time too, is I said, you mean they have ownership? They take ownership.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
and he was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. They take over. I love that people take. I love when people take ownership. And that's the most. He's like, that is the number one thing that I look for in my team members is ownership.
Well, I think he's spot. I think that's important because when you take ownership of your life and become an advocate for your life and for your work and you have enough pride in yourself to say my name is on this, right? What it goes back to a conversation we had a couple of podcasts ago when I say that is your winning culture. So what he's saying is, man, when you bring me people that have a winning culture, people who believe in themselves enough to lay it on the line every single day to own whatever it is, whether they win or lose, that speaks to their culture. That speaks to their personal culture, and that's what I like.
That's
You know,
awesome.
I try to find people that have that personal culture that shows me that yeah they got a solid foundation, and from there I can build anything with that. I can build
It's
anything with that.
what's cool about the concept of a culture too is it's a scientific term, a
Yeah,
culture. And I go back to the petri dish. When we're back in, I don't know if you did this
yeah,
in grade school, but
yeah. I remember
we
that
could
taking the
actually we
coach.
could
Yeah,
actually yeah we could actually
yeah.
cultivate
Right,
something, right?
right, right.
And when they come up with pharmaceuticals, when they come up with
Yep.
probiotics
Hmm.
and any sort of
Yep.
treatment, they're
Yep.
making sure that environment's right. And
Yes.
so man,
Yes.
I love that. I love that word, personal culture. I mean, that's you don't hear about that personal winning culture. That's not something
N-
you
You
necessarily hear
don't.
a
You
lot
know,
about.
most people when they talk about culture, they make it this abstract thing where this is collective, right?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
collective. Like we're going to try to do this.
Nobody's really, in control of
Well,
this.
no one's accountable, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like
yeah.
who's accountable for you know, like if I'm president of some organization, you know, a company, and I say, hey, I want the culture to be X, then everyone's looking to me to
To
set
do,
this culture.
so I'm gonna
And
hire
the
somebody to
reality,
delegate, and they're gonna
yeah,
be
yeah,
responsible for the
we
culture.
well, what do they call them? Like a culture expert. We you know we
Yeah,
hire like the chief operating officer of
yeah,
culture or
yeah.
whatever.
And they throw
And I'm laughing,
parties,
going,
and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I'm like, look, brother, that's
inclusion.
not what this is about. This is about a personal winning culture, and how do you get people to look within themselves to own it?
Mm,
Because you know you're ultimately the byproduct of the work that you either did or didn't do. And so, how do I inspire people um, to say, look, my name's on it, so I want to make sure it's right, because that's ultimately what you're playing for. Like how do you inspire people and you get people to every single day to walk in and say, I'm going to give my best. Not because I'm going to give my best because someone's making me do it,
yeah,
but because it's the right thing to do.
yeah.
It goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like, are you building those bridges that, hey, you may never cross, but someone's going to cross just simply because it's the right thing to do?
Do you ever notice that you find yourself needing reminders of your value?
You know, baby bro, that is such an excellent question. All the time, man, all the time, because it's hard out here, and to wake up every day and to stay motivated, and you know, and you know how I feel about motivation. It's such an inside job. I mean, no one can motivate you; they can inspire you. So I try to certainly every day look for ways to stay inspired to keep hunting. But there's days, man, when it just gets hard, like when you look around at what's going on and you feel like, man, am I the only one seeing this? And you have things that come at you that says, hey, take the easy way out. Why don't you take your foot off the throttle today? You know what I mean? Like, you've done your work. You're good. You've helped enough people. I mean, those things constantly come at me every single day. But then, you know, God's funny. You know, he reminds me, you know, who I am and like what my value is. And we don't take plays off. And every day is game day. And we build as many bridges as we can. It's not about saving one or two or three. It's about doing all that you can. Um, so there are certainly days when I'm like, dude, I just need a little reminder, because there's so many things on a daily basis that comes along to say, hey, you're good. You can coast. You can coast. And you have to fight against that. And for me, it's just, you know, always tapping back into my foundation of what I was taught as a person. And that is, you know, effort. You know, I got to give effort every day. I mean, there is no finish line. Like, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, because again, you can't outwork this work. So, you know, the moment that you're coasting, I say you're going downhill. The only way to coast is to go downhill. You can't coast uphill, right? So anytime you find yourself coasting, just realize that you're now going downhill. And for me, that's not an option. You know, I'm not that person.
Yeah.
And it's the climb, it's the climbing up. I mean, that's where the growth is. I
Mm,
mean, it's really that's really where the growth is having to dig in, to take that one step forward. You know, to push the rock uphill. But I think it's worth it. I think again, um, you're going to be rewarded big time for those things. That's that 10, 15 year down the road where it comes out to what kind of person you were.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it'll
Man.
come out.
Man. It'll come out in the wash, won't
It
it?
will. I mean, hey, listen, you will be exposed
Yeah.
as a leader, as a parent. Um, you'll know, when it gets down the road. You will know.
That's awesome.
So
That's a good thing, man. I love that.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah, it is.
And we put
Yeah, it is.
that faith ahead of the fear, and just
Yeah,
operate with that place of belief and confidence, and knowing
yeah,
that we've put in the work, that we've taken ownership, we've been learning, and you always say this, if you're learning, you're growing, and if you're growing, you're winning. And to
all
me,
day.
that's something I literally like. That's a daily thing for me. Like,
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
reminder. And, when you go
yeah,
through something hard, and I got my girls, I got my three daughters, and they go
yeah.
through hard things. And I'm like, but are you learning? What did you learn?
That's it. That's it.
What did you learn
That's
today?
it. That's it. Because I mean, as long as they're learning, you know that they're winning. I mean, and the hard is how we mentally become tough. It's how we develop our grit and our tenacity. It's how we learn to persevere. So me personally, I wake up every day, man. I'm looking for hard. I'm looking for challenge, change, and conflict. I mean, because those things are going to drive my roots deep.
Yeah.
And the deeper my roots go, the higher I can grow. So.
Do you have an acronym for the word love yet? Does it have
No, not yet, but that's a good question. I think I should
I
definitely
think
come up with one.
I actually I think we came up with one on this
Yep,
podcast today, because you started with learning,
yep.
then you hit ownership,
Ownership. Yeah, yeah.
then we hit value.
Value.
And
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, well, what's the every day, baby? It's got to be
Every
every
day,
day,
man. Every
every
day. I
day.
think that, dude, I think that's a
Learning,
great
ownership,
acronym.
value
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah.
and
And every
yeah,
day,
every day.
just put in the work. I mean, that's real love. I mean, that's real love. I mean, if you think about it, if you just do those things that we just talked about within yourself,
Yeah.
you just built a nice winning culture for yourself.
I mean,
Guarantee it.
that's sometimes you
If
just
you
play at
learn,
this
own it.
level.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hear you. You just drop the nugget. So yeah,
Well,
hey,
there it is.
there
Well, look,
it is.
that's why you on the other side conducting the stuff, and I'm just throwing stuff out because you know me,
That's
it
the
just
Almon
comes
Gunter
out.
experience, though, isn't it? I
There it
mean,
is,
let's just
baby.
say it. Let's just
This
it's
ain't for
the Almon
everybody.
Gunter experience, baby.
This ain't for everybody. This is not for everybody. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Man, baby, bro, I am so glad that, dude, even you being on the West Coast, it allowed us to get together. Like we said, man, I just love fellowshipping and spending time with you. I mean, you are my little brother, but so much more. Um, but it is about helping people, and I'm glad that you're out there building you up, and you're learning, so you can get better. We talk about that stuff all the time, and so you learn one new thing, you get to share one new thing, because all the stuff you're getting, I know you're going to give it to me, so that means I get to learn. And on this show, that's all we're about. We're just, for me, man, it's just love, dude. I'm telling you, one love, brother. We're more alike than we're different. It's one love. I mean, and sooner or later, brother, as my papa would say, you can pay me now, pay me later, but I promise you, you're gonna pay me. So
Well, man, I got
until
for me, if I'm getting up at 5 a.m., it's gonna be
yes,
for the right things. It's gonna be for the right reason.
yes,
And dude, I couldn't
yeah,
literally last night. I was like, I cannot wait to do this podcast.
I
I was
know,
so
dude, and
jacked.
you are not an early bird.
I am
That is
not an
one
early
thing you
bird,
are
bro.
not. Like my brother, like he like Lionel Richie. He roll all night long. You know what I mean? So he like to sleep in a little bit. Me on the other hand, man,
No,
I'm
brother.
up. I'm up getting it before the sun come up, brother.
Hey,
But
no better way to start my day. I'm
yeah,
grateful, so grateful for you, and thank you for
yeah.
jumping on. I know you're gonna go hang out with Lonnie Love today,
Yeah, man, I'm going to hang out with
yeah.
my man Lonnie Love Dakota. We'll again just trying to get back and just help people get to the best versions of themselves, so they can give the best versions of themselves. So we're going to keep it moving. I'm going to speak a little bit later to my list HBCU kids, which is always fun. We're actually going to talk about winning culture today. So got a lot on the plate today, but you know me, I like to eat, baby. I'm a big man. I'm hungry. Let's go. Uh,
From the Lions Den. That's how it is.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, baby, bro, listen, man. You be safe. Safe travels.
Yeah,
Learn as much as you can. Keep loving what you're doing, and shoot, brother. We be back at this thing next week. You know what I'm saying?
that's it. Let's go, baby. We'll be
Hey,
rolling on the patio next week.
yes, sir. And to the audience, we love you. Couldn't do it without you, baby. We out.
We out.
Gunner.
Dorsey out.
Every day is game day, baby. We out. Peace.